Hello and welcome back today for a new video. We're back on the Ark, of course we are. So you might be wondering who this person is slumped down next to me on my chair. It is actually my girlfriend's character. She's always moaning about how she's never in my videos. Well, she's in this one, so I guess she can't moan at me anymore, so yeah, sweet! We're going for a new kind of video today, and we're going to be looking at the top 4 best caves in Ark. The whole of Ark. We are picking the ones that are best to farm high tier loot crates and basically get all those high tier blueprints, good saddles, good weapons, all that good stuff. So these are the best for it. Some people might not agree with me, but these are, in my experience, what I think are the best ones in Ark. And there are other caves in this that I could have picked, but they're so much harder and so much more resources that you need to do them, and it's just like not really worth it for what you get. So I'm going with these 4 as the best ones to farm loot on, and we're going to get straight into it. Let's go! Alrighty, so coming in at number 4 is the swamp cave on the island map. These are the coordinates of the entrance of the cave. This cave is extremely difficult. Here we have a list of all the gear that you need to complete this cave. We got bug repellent, so bring lots of that, bring lots of cooked meat, bring lots of stimulant, lots of medical brews, crossbow with lots of stone arrows. Flame arrows would be good as well if you can obtain those. Flamethrower is good as well if you can obtain that, and lots of ammo with that too. Pump action shotgun with lots of ammo. Pike is good for close encounters. Wooden spike walls is amazing, by the way, because when we did this on official, me and my mates were just hiding behind the spike walls and peeking around it and shooting them with the shotguns and everything. They're great. They slowly kill themselves on them. You need a full set of scuba or a gas mask to survive this cave, and you can pair that with ghillie boots and gauntlets. I would definitely bring spare sets. Gas is poisonous in the cave and does lots of damage to you if you don't have the right armor. Here we have 3 tames that are really good for this cave. Megatherium doesn't have access to the cave, but you can throw them out of a cryopod in the cave and they can traverse most of it. And of course they are the insect slayer of dreams. So you can basically slaughter 90% of the things in this cave with their crazy buff. So we got the baryonyx. This guy's pretty good because he's quite a high up dino, so the alpha players struggle to shoot the rider with their ranged attacks. And for the most part they have full access to the cave, including the cave entrance. And next up we got the giant frog. Because why not take a frog in? The frog's actually really good for getting the cement paste off the Meganeras. It's very good at taking care of a lot of the Meganeras. It does a crazy amount of damage to insects, which even like if they're level 400, it doesn't even care. Or just lick them up in a one. If you got high damage on the frog, then boom, you're in business. Here is a list of all the creatures you will face in the cave. The spawn levels are 120 to 360. Lots of arthropods, lots of titanoboas, titanomeras, the Meganeras, a lot of them. Araneas and scorpions in there as well. Sometimes you come across the occasional Megalania, and there's a pool of water where there's leeches everywhere in there as well, which isn't ideal. Might want to bring a lesser antidote with you. This footage you can see now is not a proper depiction of what you can see in the cave. I did clear out the cave just so I can get some nice looking footage. This cave is swarming with all these creatures. 3 loot crates can spawn, reds, yellows and blues. Coming in at number 3 is the lava cave on the center map. This is actually one of my personal favorites because we used to run this cave constantly way back when the game was in beta stage and it was not released yet. We used to play official PvP, and this is the cave where we found our first Ascendant Rex saddle blueprint. This is the entrance to the cave. This is the map and the coordinates to the front of the cave. There is only one entrance. So let's take a look at the gear you need to complete this cave. If you haven't got very good fortitude, stimulant is definitely a must. Cooked meat, of course, medical brews, flak armor. This cave is very hot, so flak's not always ideal. Ghillie armor is good. Bring a few sets of each. Pike's good for close encounters, once again. Pump action shotgun, amazing weapon for caves. Crossbow with grappling hooks, and bring a few canteens. This cave is by far the easiest on the list to do. These are the two I would advise bringing with you in cryopods, just so you can throw them out. They have full access to the cave as far as I know. Wouldn't advise bringing a Giga because of the turning radius and some of the tight corners. These two can deal with everything in the cave fine anyway. You could technically run through the whole cave without killing anything, as the Rex and Megatherium are too large for anything in this cave to aggro on them. Yeah, the Megatherium's obviously, once again, because it's the insect destroyer, and with the bonus buff from killing insects, it literally mops everything up. And Rex is a Rex, so it will just eat everything in its path. The Ferrozino is also a great tame to take into this cave because you can either run through it without aggroing any creatures, or you can just run through like a madman and kill everything. Back when we used to do this cave, you could fly into the first bit with the drop without being kicked off your tame. It's once you go into the actual cavern with all the lava that you get kicked off your tame. So you could fly down there on a wyvern and land safely without actually getting kicked off automatically. Here are a list of creatures you will face in this cave. Also, Megalanias do lurk on the ceilings and the walls, so you've got to be wary of them dropping down. I think they're the only thing that actually aggro on your tames. But being as the cave is so huge, so they probably most likely won't come into aggro range. There are 3 drops that spawn in this cave. There are about 6 locations that they can spawn in, and they are only red drops, which is really good. And there are 2 artifacts also. At number 2 and second best to farm loot is the Frozen Dungeon on the Ragnarok map. This is the location on the map and the coordinates to the entrance of the cave. There are 2 entrances, but this is the entrance I want to show because there is free loot in this one. So before we get into it, we'll get into the gear that you need to complete the cave. Medical brews, of course, cooked meat, of course. Fryer curry helps with the temperature in the cave as it's freezing. You'll need a canteen, you'll need some good flak armor for when you get into the fights in the cave. Fur armor is good to keep warm. Ideally, be better to have some better quality than primitive. Riot shield or a metal shield. They're good to hold back the ice worms. Pump action shotgun with lots of ammo, crossbow and lots of flame arrows. They do lots of damage to the ice worms. A few campfires to keep warm or maybe cook meat, and an assault rifle. So before we get into what creatures are good for this cave, this is the entrance. On some unofficial servers you can just fly in this area and pick up these crates easy as anything. If you have a Tylocolio you can do it that way as well. You can enter the cave through here and just climb up and avoid all the dire bears. There is dire bears in this area that spawn up to level 500, so they are very scary if they aggro on you. There is 5 drops that spawn in this area. This is all the locations of them, and they always spawn. So you can get blue or yellow crates in this little cave here before the main cave. So on this cave we've got 3 creatures here. I think these guys are the best ones for it. They're small, they're agile, they're tanky, they can deal a lot of damage, so they're good at taking on the ice worms in the cave. The Tylocolio is very good for the first phase if you can't fly into the spot with the free loot. You'll need cryopods to use these creatures, as the cave entrance is tiny. Otters are great to have on your shoulder because they provide hypothermic insulation. If you level up the melee damage on the otter, you can provide more insulation. There aren't many dangers in this cave, but the dangers that are there are pretty extreme. So we've got extreme cold as one. Amongst that you've got ice worms spawning out the ground, which aren't as tough as you think because they only have about 1,700 health. If you have a good shotgun, if it's about 250% damage shotgun, yeah, they drop pretty fast. In this cave you do get yellow and red drops. Before you do get to the Ice Queen arena, I do come across 3 red drops and a yellow drop. Once I killed the Ice Queen, 3 red drops spawned in the chamber itself afterwards as well. So there is a ton of loot to be had. I will write in the description of the video how I killed the Ice Queen, if there is anyone that would like to know how. And coming in at number 1 on the list is the Jungle Dungeon on the Ragnarok map. And this is by far the best cave to farm loot on. It is insane. There are 2 cave entrances. These are the coordinates to both of them and the locations on the map. So when doing caves, I do like to just kill everything and rob all the loot and even all the hide, all the kite and everything. You can always creep past the first part with ghillie armor and bug repellent. But anyway, let's get into the gear that you need to complete this cave. Bug repellent, especially if you're doing it stealth. I never do, I just kill everything. Cooked meat, of course, we need some food in our lives. Medical brews, stimulant in case you get stung or licked by a snake. Crossbow with lots of grappling hooks, and I mean you need lots, you probably need hundreds just to be sure, because if you run out you're basically stuffed. Pipe for the close encounters, pump action shotgun for all the damage dealing. Canteen, so we need our drinks. Torches because the first part of this cave is absolutely pitch black and it's kind of annoying. Flak armor if you're going beast, and to kill the lava golem you can either do it two ways, just smash him in with rockets. And this is how many I think you need. I don't really know the math on it, but I think it's better to be safe than sorry, so bring enough. The other method is have a Velonasaur cryopoded in your inventory and then just throw it out when you get to the lava golem arena and just shoot down on it from a good angle. So let's take a quick look at the dinos that will help you do this cave. To be honest, it's not a very dino friendly cave. They don't really help a lot, but in the dark areas where you can't see a lot, the Megatherium, just throw him out of your cryopod and let him smash everything in the face. And the Velonasaur helps to kill the rock golem. So these are the dangers in the cave. There's a lot of lava in this cave. There's a lot of high cliffs and tightrope thin pathways that you have to navigate around. Ideally a lot of grappling hook action, and if you mess it up you fall in the lava. There is also a couple of traps near the start of one of the entrances. So in this cave, basically 3 sections of loot crates. So in the first section where it's pitch black, you'll get blue, green and yellow crates. In the second chamber where you reach the wooden bridges and the grapple playground, there are, to be honest, I lost count of how many yellow and red drops were in there, but there's a lot. And make sure you don't have a bath in the lava. Now we're on to the good part and the final phase of the best cave in ARK to farm loot on. And yes, we're in the great spot here. So after smashing the rock golem in the nostril 100 times with the rockets, he's finally down. And then you can rob his body, and it's got tons of loot on, it's got blueprints, everything. If that wasn't enough, you get 3 red loot crates spawn straight after you kill him. Boom. And we have ourselves 4 of the best caves in ARK to farm loot on. So that is going to be the end of the video for today. I really do hope you guys enjoyed the video. I must admit it took me so long to edit. I've never spent that long on any video as of yet, so I really do hope you guys like it. If you do like the video, please feel free to check out the other videos, check out the channel, all that stuff, and yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. So take care, goodbye.